Movie tie-ins are sometimes a tricky thing to get right for video games. For every Mad Max or GoldenEye 007, there's an Aliens Colonial Marines waiting around the corner. Thankfully though, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora looks to have nailed the action experience, from freewheeling traversal with a togetherness with nature to a jaw-dropping environment so reminiscent of Pandora it's hard to know how developer Massive Entertainment could get it looking any better. Sci-fi far cry this may seem, but there's enough of its own thing going on to make Avatar Frontiers of Pandora a very exciting prospect indeed. NPCs will understand the state of the world. In a push to add as much lifelike quality to the world of Pandora as possible, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora's development team have integrated NPCs that'll react to happenstance in the game world and behave accordingly. Outlined by lead narrative realization designer Alice Rendell in the game's recent video showcasing the tech behind Frontiers of Pandora, there are systems designed to inform NPCs as to the state of the world. Player progression, time of day, or weather can impact NPC behavior, with a range of activities and animations they can perform as a result. In-house game engine Snowdrop pushed further than ever. Big improvements to Massive Entertainment's proprietary game engine Snowdrop were required to render the game world in as much majestic splendor as it deserves. Upgrades include a microdata system capable of propagating thousands of assets in a single frame, automated placement to create a wealth of plant life, volumetric cloud systems, and complex shaders that interact with players. These improvements create a dense jungle floor brimming with life and an airborne aerial vista awe-inspiring in scale and beauty. Real-time ray trace lighting. With Snowdrop's ray tracing capability, Pandora can be illuminated in ways the developer hasn't been able to achieve in any of their prior games. Real-time ray trace global illumination and reflections give a superb, natural, photorealistic quality to Pandora's light. Perhaps the advantages to Frontiers of Pandora's ray tracing are best witnessed in its nighttime bioluminescent flora. Neon-tinted foliage glows in the dark, providing the game's most vibrant environments to wander through. Weapon upgrading. Frontiers of Pandora will give access to a wide range of weaponry. More traditional, native weapons like bows and arrows, axes and hunting blades sit alongside assault rifles, shotguns and grenade launchers in a player's arsenal. Utilizing materials scavenged from the land, players can create specialized weapons, ammunition, gear and upgrades, all tailored to individual playstyle, thanks to the game's in-depth crafting system. Reactions mixed on traversal options. Yes, early playtesters seemed divided on whether walking on foot or traveling by air is the superior way to get around Pandora. Indeed, the dense jungle floor has been remarked as too dense by some. So dense, in fact, it's a nightmare to find where you're going. On the flip side, this jungle density is what makes on-foot traversal so interesting. Instead of on-screen waypoints, players are supposed to combine vision and their wits to get around. Observe landmarks, follow natural trails, that sort of thing. It's an immersive quality to open-world games that is often underutilized. So, providing objectives aren't too difficult to locate, both traversal options will have their merits. Navigation aids might need tweaking. That being said, of on-foot traversal, some playtesters and media outlets are reporting that the game's navigation systems could do with a tweak, as certain locations have proved too challenging to track down whilst on foot. To highlight waypoints, the game uses a beacon of light observable via vision, but allegedly this can be hard to see through thick canopy. As you get closer to your objective, the pillar of light changes to a small slash mark before disappearing altogether when you're in the immediate vicinity. Locating these specific waypoints then becomes an exercise in bushcraft. Whether you're into this or opposed depends on personal preference. It's great that Massive Entertainment are trying a more immersive navigation system, but if it leads to frustration, it'll need a refresh post-release. Skill tree apparently lackluster. First off, the skill tree seems well thought out by the development team, with upgradable skills narratively tied to memories our central character must rediscover. The issue some are reporting is that the skills themselves aren't especially exciting. Extra damage points, more harvestable resources during scavenging, quieter stealth – these are the fruits of your ongoing labor. Crafting feels misplaced. There's a layer of tactile problem-solving inherent in Frontiers of Pandora's looting. Collected fruits must be harvested from their pods by a certain stroke of the mouse or analog stick. That is, if you can locate the plant you're looking for amongst a forest's worth of similar-looking flora. Whether this extends to rooting through human waste bins for tidbits that'll boost armor remains to be seen. Likewise, crafting gear and ammunition reportedly has a tacked-on feel, as if the developer are imposing their established gameplay philosophy rather than understanding what best fits Frontiers of Pandora's gameplay loop. Structurally akin to Far Cry. To be clear, this isn't Far Cry set on some interstellar forest moon. No, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is very much its own thing, but there are certainly elements from the Far Cry playbook in how its missions are structured. Sneaking into RDA compounds, sabotaging their entire operation with the pull of a lever, taking down outposts in a blaze of glory. These aspects will feel familiar to anyone who's played Far Cry. Whether the contrast between the mechanized human threat and the dense natural world elicit a deeper emotional connection in the player remains to be seen. Let's hope the developers have applied some creative flair to the Far Cry formula. First-person action reminiscent of Mirror's Edge. The freewheeling first-person parkour game Mirror's Edge is a touchstone on Frontiers of Pandora's action. The vast knotted jungle entwined with vines and canopies is said to provide a gracefully uninterrupted speed run for the players, and this would make sense, seeing as you're in a natural habitat. The controls have also been nailed here, with sprinting through the jungle with ease is one of the principal reasons behind this. Bow combat takes a leaf out of Horizon's book. You know Aloy's ability to use her focus to highlight weaknesses and aim points on Horizon's mechanoids. Well, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora applies a similar trick with its vision, which can be utilized to identify weak points on human-made mechs. Different arrow varieties can be crafted via a weapon wheel on the fly too. To be clear, this isn't a bad thing. Horizon's combat arc is amongst its best gameplay features. Combat that lifts from Horizon's best bits is certain to be a plus. Hunter-gatherer mechanics. A welcome tie-in to the game's movie roots, hunter-gatherer mechanics are said to play a sizable part in Frontiers of Pandora's open-world game loop. For instance, picking fruit, hunting animals, and preparing meals for yourself, whilst important to regenerate health, is an integral prerequisite to surviving Pandora's natural world. Side activities. Alongside hunter-gathering, there are a raft of side activities on offer in Frontiers of Pandora, including the removal of RDA tags from wild animals, requiring a peaceful approach to garner the animal's trust before ejecting its unwelcome tracking device, and also freeing wildlife caged by the RDA, with sneakily killing its captors along the way an optional extra. There's a real sense of harmony with nature in the game's side activities. Even hunting animals requires they be honorably killed with weaponry. Using bullets renders the meat inedible. Objectives not spoon-fed. It'd be a travesty would all this natural splendor be spoiled by unnecessary quest markers. Instead, Frontiers of Pandora requires players manually mark their objectives on the map, but it doesn't offer any planned route or way through. Instead, players are free to utilize free-running skills to fluidly platform through the jungle. PC requirements. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora will release to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, Amazon Luna, and PC. With the game pushing Snowdrop way beyond its prior technical capability, presumably it's going to be a very demanding title for PC players. Indeed, a bare minimum 16GB of RAM, a GeForce GTX 1070 or RX 5700, Intel Core i7-8700K or a Ryzen 5 3600, and Windows 10 64-bit are required to run the game. Ideally, graphics cards should be updated to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 Ti or a Radeon RX 6700 XT, with CPUs running Intel Core i5-11600K or a Ryzen 5 5600X to reach the graphical prowess the game is capable of. Also, you'll need 90GB of storage available to install the game. And with that, we've reached the end of this video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Vault, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.